So, do you guys want to save thousands and thousands of dollars while learning a skill you can use for the rest of your life? With the show of hands, has any of you guys reshingled a roof before? Awesome. Some of you guys have done it, and so you guys know the process and the steps to do it. So I've spent the last year and a half working for a roofing company and reshingle hundreds of houses around the Nebraska area. And according to doityourself.com 2019, do your own roof replacement states, roof replacements require no special skills and can be done by anyone with the proper tools, material, and guidance. Is roofing hard? Yes, but it's a special skills you can learn, save money, and knowing the job gets done right to your standard and not a company come in just to take your money and then spending more money down the road to get it replaced and fixed. Roofing your own house is easier than you may think. So there's a minimum amount of tools you would need to start off. So a couple of things you would need is a tear-off shovel, a grain scoop or wide shovel. You will also need a leaf blower, and if you don't have one, a broom will work, a hammer, a crowbar, a few steel rakes, plastic ones, lastly a nice pair of gloves, and you might need some tarps to lay around your house, around the house in the areas you're working. So let's start on tearing off the old shingles. So you want to make your way to the top of the roof, and you will use a special tool that's really cheap, between 10 to 15 bucks, and it's called a shingle shovel. So it has this nice metal bent piece and has a bunch of sharp teeth right here, as you can see, and this helps get in behind the shingles so you can rip it apart and pull all the nails and paper off. With that, you want, like I said, walk to the top of your roof and you'll take the ridge cap off and you'll start working your way down the roof, just removing all the shingles. From there, it'll come in big pieces and small pieces, so what you can do is take the big pieces, pick them up and throw them in the dumpster, while the small ones you can use the grain scoop or a wide shovel and shove them in the dumpster. And then from there, you want to remove any metal, any vent boots on top of the roof, flashing around the chimney. Remove all that and you should be good to go. So once the old shingles are off, it's time to start the cleaning operation. So on the cleaning operation, you just want to take your leaf blower and blow them into your gutter system. Might sound a little crazy, but I'll explain in a little bit why you want to do that. And then, so you have the choice to either remove your nails with the hammer or crowbar, or you could just bang it, hammer it into the plywood, and you should be perfectly fine. From there, you want to also lay down, before the tear off, you want to lay some tarps down, so when you're blowing the material off, it catches it, so you have to go into your garden and pick it out. Once you put all the material down into your gutter system, you can get a nice pair of gloves and just scoop them in a trash can and dump them into the dumpster. So once you are done cleaning off, it's time to assess your roof and just look around and see if any of the plywood needs to be replaced. If the wood is rotten or broken, take a circular saw, cut it out, and replace the plywood. Now that the hard part is done, we can start to get the roof ready to be shingled. So let's start off with some basic tools you'll need. A chalk line to make sure the shingles will be laid straight, caulking for adding roof sealant, air hoses and air compressors, hammers, roof, staplers and nailers, straight edge tin snips, and utility knife. So it's time to lay down the first material. This wood is called a drip edge. I call it a D-metal, and what this does is you'll nail to the bottom of your plywood right above your gutter, and what this does is it helps water drip down your gutter. It has a very clean look, and it also helps the shingle from curling over. So the next step would be the ice and water. So ice and water has a very sandpaper texture and has a self-adhesive side to the back of it. During cold or just around Nebraska, depending, you might have to double it. So there is a sticky part that's made out of tar where you can overlap it and it sticks better. So to according to the post on familyhandyman.com, how the roof or house stays protected, it protects the roof from ice dams and wind-blown rain. And so next, after that, is to apply the felt. And this felt, many people call it tar paper or builder's paper, and this will help shield water from the plywood and protect it from the asphalt shingle. Felt the rest of the house to the top of the roof, start from one end and go over, and then cut the rest off. Many people say you should overlap it 2 inches. I prefer overlapping 4 to 6 inches. Now, the next step is using a valley. A valley will go where the roof meets together, and there's a down. This helps channel the water off your roof into your gutter system. Make sure you nail the valley tight down due to water going down a lot. You don't want the water go underneath your valley and destroy your plywood that you just placed down. Now it's time to start the starter shingle. So in this display, the starter shingle will lay right underneath, right on top of the ice and water. So it's a little off, but this will lay right underneath, over it. Nail the starter at the bottom of the ice water. And the starter has a sticky tar on top, and this is where the shingle will be able to adhere once it heats up. So now it's time to get the most exciting part of it, and is to lay the shingle down. So once your starter's down, you're gonna lay your shingle right on top. You're gonna have a full sheet of shingles, and in the shingles there are 2 lines right here, and so this is where you want to take your nail gun and nail it to your shingles. And so the next step, when you're laying your shingles, you want to lay it right on top of the other one and leave about 6 inches, and that gives the perfect kind of height and building pattern. Sometimes when you put it right across from each other, it just looks weird and it looks funky, so you want it just to have a little texture and a little different feel for it. So after this is done, after you start laying the first couple of shingles and working your way up, it's time to lay the step flashing. And the step flashing goes right around the chimney, and this helps protect the water from running from the chimney onto your shingles. So the piece of metal is like an L shape, so you want to nail that L flashing to your chimney and the roof, and then you would take your shingles and nail it right up to it. And that's the same thing with vent boots. Vent boots are a rubber boot with a metal bottom housing, and this is where it helps to put the shingles right up close to the vents, and you don't have to worry about it. Now that we have laid down the shingle, let's wrap it up. We have just a few steps to finish up the roof, and it's a wrap. This process will be using some caulking. Place caulking around flashing and any materials that may leak water. Place caulking around vent boots and tight seals. Trim any extra materials off that may be hanging off the edge of the roof. Make straight cuts. With your tin snips, trim metal off for a clean look, and also cut off overhang. Sweep up and clean the roof. So in conclusion, these are the easy steps to re-shingle your roof. I have shared the supplies you would need to tear off a roof. I've explained the steps and material you need to lay down these shingles. I've also explained the finish work, and with a little hard work, dedication, and the willpower, you'll be able to achieve new skills to re-shingle your house. You'll also be able to save thousands of dollars and impress people with your amazing skills.